Lou Dobbs is a Donald Trump sycophant, and he refuses to ever accept anything negative about Trump or say anything negative about Trump. And so he was not too happy about the fact that Fox Business reporter Charles Gasparino had reported on GOP operatives who are concerned about how poorly Donald Trump is polling and have floated the possibility that Trump might drop out before the general election takes place. Now, we discussed that in detail. Check out our video on that. But the update is that Dobbs is refusing to accept that reporting and is even attacking that reporting. Now, I just want to give you a quick refresher on what Gasparino had shared in his so-called reporting. On Twitter, he wrote, "Over the weekend, I spoke to a sample of major players," and he means GOP operatives here. "One described Trump's current psyche as fragile." So what does Lou Dobbs think about that? Take a look.
The campaign looks a little uneven from day to day, but I can tell you this, all of this nonsense talking in the left-wing media, talking about this president would quit or would not want to run for re-election. I had recently the opportunity to talk with him. Anybody who talks to the president knows better than any of that nonsense, knows it's all claptrap as usual. The man I talked to is fired up. He is in great spirits and ready to raise a lot of hell on the campaign trail.
He's got to get out of his basement first. But yeah, Cenk, is it claptrap? Is it true that Donald Trump is stronger than ever and he's ready to win it?
Yeah, so there's two reasons why Lou Dobbs did that segment. Well, three. There's a standard ubiquitous to kiss Donald Trump's ass, which is the whole point of that show. But in particular here, one is to say, the man I speak to, oh, you're so hilariously unbearable. Did you know that I speak to the president? Yeah, because you're one of the few lunatics who supports him 100% through all of it, the insane things that he has said. So you guys are insane peas in a pod. So I'm not at all surprised you talk to the president. So then the second reason he did that segment was to say that all this is left-wing media. The guy who broke the story, Gasparino, is not only on Fox, he's on Fox Business, the same exact channel Lou Dobbs is on and is broadcasting from, as he calls it, left-wing media. So Lou, are you part of left-wing media? Because you just said Fox Businesses and that's your channel.
Division at Fox, the drama. As Fox Business turns. You touched on something that I want to talk about a little bit more, because I think that Lou Dobbs is a terrible, far right winger who actually does genuinely like Trump. But I am wondering how much of his admiration for Trump is fueled by the fact that he has access to Trump. Because you think Lou Dobbs would have phone conversations with previous presidents? Doubt it.
No way.
No one cares about Lou Dobbs. The box of hair dye that Lou Dobbs used doesn't care about Lou Dobbs, clearly. It's ridiculous, right? So I think that his obsession with having access to the president is fueling some of his ridiculous commentary about Trump. That's completely delusional.
To which I say, of course, it's not either or, it's both. And when authoritarian governments take over, including the fascists, there are these sycophants that surround the leader. And they get into a competition of who can kiss his ass more and who could prove themselves more loyal to the leader. And then part of the way they do that is they get more and more vicious in how they attack the leader's opponents. I mean, Lou Dobbs is just a textbook definition of that. And if Trump actually were to win a second term and then start to end this democracy, Lou Dobbs would be his biggest fanboy. And so that's in his nature. If there was it doesn't have to be Trump. Insert, authoritarian wannabe, and Lou Dobbs would view his job as being between that guy's butt cheeks. And so that's who he is. He's waiting for an authoritarian leader so he can attach his lips to his ass. And so that's what leads him to be over the top fawning, oh, I love authoritarianism and I love kissing ass of authoritarians. And I get to have access, which is like the ultimate dream for an ass kisser. So that right there is Lou Dobbs in a nutshell, or an ass show.
Do you remember when you interviewed Lou Dobbs on TYT, like early days of TYT? I booked him when I was a booker back in the day, and it was such a disaster for him that his publicist literally interfered in the middle of the interview to get him off. It was awesome.
She basically threw in a towel from the corner, like, you gotta get off this show. They're killing you. They're killing you. By the way, if you're a member, you get all of our shows. Check it out, tyt.com/join, or if you're watching on YouTube, just hit that join button below. At the top level, premium level, all of our shows anytime you want. When you sign up for a spend and save account at aspiration.com/tyt, we will plant 10 trees. Let's save the planet together.